what's up, everybody? I'm Chet Buchanan from 98.5 KLUC in Las Vegas. I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but I just want to prove that I, too, am not an idiot. Because just like you, I'm listening to the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com. Believe that.
What's up? This is the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com. Call the show 630-403-5200. It's 630-403-5200. And on the show right now, he's the host of the Gravy and Rachel in the Morning Show up in Grand Rapids on Hot 105.3 FM. Gravy is on the phone line to talk about the White Sox. What's up, man?
How's it going?
We are doing good. So how has everything been since you were named program director at Hot 105.3?
Well, let's see. I got here 12 and a half hours ago, and I'm still here.
Oh, man. That's rough.
And that's pretty much what happens when you become program director, because you're responsible for everything and got to make sure nothing goes wrong.
Well, it shows that hard work pays off, and ICB is happy for you, man. What is your take on the White Sox so far this year?
It started out good, but it's starting to go a little south right now. I was surprised that they signed, I can't remember how you say his name, Nuesi or whatever, from the Rangers, and had him pitch against Detroit because we already rocked him for a bunch of runs, and they should have took him out in the fourth when they had somebody warming up that game, but instead we lost another one to Detroit, which we can't afford to lose games in our division. I know some people are saying, well, it's only April, well, now May, but, those games in the division count. Now we're getting ready to go against Cleveland, so hopefully we can do well against them.
And Scott Carroll came up from the minors and pitched a marvelous game last Sunday to beat the Tampa Bay Rays. Could we see him in the rotation in the near future?
Well, given what our rotation is, I would think yes, because our rotation is awful. And it was good to see that. And he had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. He's been in the minors for 8 or 9 years. So, he really stuck out the struggle. So it's really a good story. So hopefully it continues to be a great story, and he'll be a great guy in our rotation.
What could the White Sox do to improve this rotation? Is there any hope for them?
I think that they're going to have to go and get some pitching, unless they have some more guys to bring up that are going to, show their worth. That's the only thing I see.
Now, how impressed are you with the play of Adam Dunn so far? He's drawing a lot of walks. His batting average is pretty decent, and he's really driving in runs this year. I
am really shocked, but I think it's just kind of, I always find it coincidental when you have these players that do not hit very well, and then in a contract year, they do really well. But I'm glad to see it. He was watched taking a lot of pitches last year too. He just wasn't getting it done with the bat. But it's good to see that he's doing it this year, whether it's a contract year or not, because we can either keep him for the whole year, or if it doesn't look very good later on, we can at least finally get something for that amount of money we dumped on him.
Adam Dunn is a guy who is up and down his whole time in the MLB. What is he doing right this year during his contract year?
I just think that he's got an idea of what pitches that he's looking for. It seems like he's sitting on certain pitches more than he was last year, if you ask me.
And do you think that the White Sox will look to re-sign him, or do you think that after this year he'll be gone?
I would say there's no way that the White Sox would re-sign Adam Dunn. Right. And I would think that a good part would be if they did get rid of him, then we could get Visiedo out of right field, because he cannot play. He can hit the ball, but that's it. He looks like I would look like in the outfield. He's like what Cub fans felt like with Alfonso Soriano.
Yes.
No matter what was hit out there, they were worried that he may not catch it. And the problem is you can't move him to left, because then that means you'd have to move De Aza to right, and De Aza doesn't have an arm. The only thing Viciado does well in the field is he has a great arm, and De Aza has an awful arm. So that's kind of the situation we're stuck in. But if Viciado can give us more runs than he's giving up in the outfield, then it makes it kind of worth it.
Why is Paul Konerko on this team? Because he's not going out with a bang. He just has a few RBIs. Isn't it sort of sad to watch a great White Sox player like just fumble through his last year?
I know. I just think Paul Konerko is a class act, and I think we don't know what he's doing on the bench, and how he's helping players by not playing a lot. What I do not like about the situation is the White Sox said that, lefties, it would be Paul Konerko. Righties, it would be Dunn. It still seems like with lefties, Dunn's still batting. And so that's what I dislike about the situation. But I think Paul Konerko is doing pretty good for being as old as he is.
Yeah.
For some people thinking he shouldn't be in the major leagues anymore. I think I'm really happy that he's there for a final year so he can get the respect he deserves because he's really been a class act for the White Sox. And he's never really asked for the thanks, and now we're just giving it to him like he deserves it.
And also, another guy that's been good ever since he's been brought up is Jose Abreu. He's doing really good. He has 10 home runs in the first month of the season. Do you think he can keep up that streak all year? Do you think it's possible that he could hit maybe 60 home runs?
I think the sky is the limit for this guy because you think about it. This guy has never seen this pitching unless he saw some of it in the World Baseball Classic. But for the most part, he's facing a bunch of pitchers that he's never seen in his life. And he's hitting like this. I mean, wish the average was a little better, but he's hitting home runs. He broke the record for home runs by a rookie in the first month in April.
Yes.
He broke the record for RBIs. I mean, he's just getting started. I mean, he is the most exciting player in baseball right now, if you ask me.
Could you see him being a top-tier player in just a few years? I know we're getting ahead of ourselves after just a month of his first year, but I think he could be a top-tier player. What's your take?
Well, I think he did run into one problem already this year, but he started to figure out a lot of pitchers started throwing him change-ups. And he's still working on the changeups. He has a rough time with changeups, but he seems to be getting the changeups down. So he seems to be getting better with those. So I think that he will be a top tier player.
Yes.
And I think all these teams that didn't pony up an extra $8, $9, $10 million is kicking themselves right now.
Do you think that the play of Adam Eaton so far has really been a good thing for the White Sox after they traded Addison Reed and Hector Santiago away, and then they ended up with Adam Eaton? Or do you think that was a good trade?
Well, the Eaton and the Davidson was two separate trades, but
yes.
I think Eaton is great. It's been a while since we've had a leadoff hitter with so much energy, kind of like a Lance Johnson kind of guy,
right.
or a Scott Pasednik. And I think that's what we have with Adam Eaton. I mean, he is getting. I think he runs and hustles every play. If he walks, he'll run to first. I mean, that's the type of guy he is. So when you have that guy in the leadoff spot, that's going to make your whole team better because they're going to say, you know what, we want to be on his level because if you're not on his level, then it just looks like you're slacking. So I think that he is probably one of the best deals of the offseason for the White Sox.
Gravy, what do the White Sox need to do to beat the Indians this weekend in a very important division series?
The pitching needs to come alive. The pitching needs to be there. I mean, you can't have. I mean, granted, Chris Sale is one of the best pitchers in baseball, but you can't have one of your pitchers, go on the DL and the whole team falls apart because he's only going to pitch once every 5 days.
Right.
You have to win 2 out of 3 games. You have to win out of a 3-game series. You have to constantly be winning at least 2 games in those series. I mean, this is a 90, well, usually is a 90-plus win division, but I don't know about this year because it is kind of tight, and we're lucky that the Tigers aren't doing that great, and they have a god-awful bullpen like us. But we have to improve the bullpen. The bullpen has to be better. The starting pitching has been pretty good, besides the people that we've been kind of throwing in there here and there. But the bullpen has to step up because, I mean, we would probably have 5 more wins if it wasn't for our bullpen.
Could you see the White Sox during the summer trying to improve the bullpen, maybe with a trade?
I think that if they're in the running, I think right now the idea of the team is not a total rebuild, but it's somewhat of a rebuild, and that's their focus. But if by July, at the trade deadline, if they're in it to win it, then they're going to go get I think they'll go get bullpen pitching. But if they're not, I think you're going to see them shed people like Adam Dunn and Gordon Beckham, because they already have too many second basemen as it is. But you're going to see them shed those players and get what they can for them for the following season. But I think if they're in it in July, I would see them getting bullpen pitching. It would be nice to see them get it now, but Webb's been doing pretty good. But we just really need, and Belsario's not that bad. So hopefully people can step up and really step up in the bullpen.
Now, before we let you go, are you doing anything fun this weekend before you get back to it on Monday?
Let's see. Hang out with a girl tomorrow,
Nice.
and then going out drinking with my buddy who's married. His wife's out of town, so we're going to party it up tonight.
What are some fun spots in Grand Rapids that you like to hang out with your friends on the weekend?
Well, Grand Rapids is kind of cool little downtown vibe. They have a building called the Bob, which stands for big old building, and it has like a couple clubs in there and a few bars and restaurants, and then they have a whole strip downtown that has multiple bars, and then they have this cool street called Michigan Street, which is a cool street because you can kind of walk and bar hop hole-in-the-wall bars. So that's fun, too.
Well, Gravy, have a good weekend, my man, and we hope to have you on again soon.
All right, cool. Anything from my school, Illinois Center for Broadcasting, where I graduated from years ago.
Okay.
Exactly. Thanks, Gravy.
All right, bye, guys.
And that was Gravy of Hot 105.3 FM up in Grand Rapids. He's of the Gravy and Rachel Morning Show and just got promoted to program director. So congrats to him. We will be right back. Break down everything that Gravy said on the Friday Sports Riot. And then coming up at 5:15, Mark Carman, the host of the night game, alongside Connor McKnight. He'll be coming on the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com to break down Chicago sports. Do you want to call the show? 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. We will be right back on the Friday Sports Riot. Don't touch that dial, folks.
The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.